building the business turns you into a different kind of human being.
Realize that failure is a part of the journey.
I think there's hope out there for all of us.
They say procrastination be the assassination of destinations. That's why we out here grinding with no association with haters and them other crabs trying to put us down. Pest badges in the house, boy, don't clown. Just keep your eyes on the prize, ain't no giving up. You can do whatever you dream of. Just keep your eyes on the prize, ain't no giving up.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Pest Control Millionaire. Another stud on today. Super excited. James and I, we talk quite a bit, actually. We always bounce ideas back and forth. He's stud when it comes to growing his lawn care company. But James, I don't want to butcher your last name because I always do it, but it's Szojka, right? God. So James Szojka, owner of Yard Dawgs, over in Canada, doing big things, growing extremely fast. I think I don't want to butcher this either, but I think in May you sold like $1.5 million in revenue for lawn care. So doing big things with it. You guys are over 5 million already in sales, which is super impressive. Especially like, so we were just talking for like the last half hour. You're still getting like 50 leads a day for lawn care, which usually it slows down middle of July for lawn care. So are you guys getting a lot of rain? Are you guys marketing like crazy still? Bring us up to speed from the last time we chatted online. Lots have happened.
Yeah, last time we talked, we were probably pushing around, like last year we ended at about 3.3 million in net revenue essentially. So for production was what we ended up doing there. And this year we've grown by about 60%. We're on track to hit about 5.3 this year. And we have a great team operation where we're in 6 different markets, just in the Great White North. So we started production this year on May 4th. And we'll take production.
Here, yeah.
It's crazy. And we'll go until October 10th usually, unless like it snows earlier than that. But no, we've been growing. We've become a lot more fanatical about setting people up properly though, because it's not about growing if your retention sucks. So we've really dialed in on retention the past 12 months, and we have been seeing some really good improvements there. And we are focused on training. I find that in a day of AI coming upon us there too, although you should be leveraging AI to your best ability, don't forget that your team is what's going to make or break you. And like as we approach 5 million this year, sure, it's worked to this point, but if we're going to hit 10 million, we do need to keep developing our leaders of the company and systems, because if we use the same system right now for 10 million, we'd probably break. So we're always developing things, but it's been a wild ride, and that's a lot of lawn care to do in 5 months. So everyone is make hay while the sun shines, the adage for sure here.
Yeah, and if you guys can't tell, James is walking on his treadmill in his office.
Yes, got to keep the energy up, got to keep the steps in. It's in July, so we have every calorie counts.
That's funny. And then you said you just did a pretty crazy leg workout today too?
Yeah, one thing that's been actually nice, myself and my business partner Liam, we get out of the office 3 days a week around noon. Just to honestly, we see a trainer. He pushes us way harder than we'd ever push ourselves, and honestly, it's kind of spoiled working out for me because I can't do that to myself. You know, like I'm too nice on myself. But you have a trainer pushing you. You can, where you think mentally you're gonna stop at 12 reps. Lo and behold, you could do 16 if someone was telling you, no, you're gonna keep going. Like you've got more essentially.
I tell my daughter this I tell my daughter, but my oldest one a lot. She was here, but she is out there somewhere. She'd tell you this all the time. Your mind is going to give up before your body will. I promise you that. Just don't let it win.
That's true.
And I tell myself this all the time too, but I really instill that into the girls. Your mind's going to quit first. Your body's going to hold up. Like, so you said, if you can think you can only do 10 reps by yourself, you could probably do 16, 17 with a trainer.
And the truth is, you can apply that to lawn care and pest control. Like the hardest part of the job is having the same conversation in the middle of your month. You're on sales, you're having the same conversation 100 times a day, and you bring the same enthusiasm, the same effort on call 85 as you did for call 1. If you can do that, you're going to be a winning salesperson. If you can be consistent, you're showing up, the 7 days a week that we do push in the 3 months where it matters, where our lawn care tsunami is, it's all about consistency. You'll get good to a certain point, but whoever's the most consistent sells the most.
Yeah. So last time we chatted, you had I want to say like 3 offices. Now you're at 6. You obviously just got a bunch of new trucks. You didn't have the flat nose back then either. How's that all been going?
Azuzus have changed the entire lawn care game for us. So we're running all liquids now for treatments, and it allows we're doing the average truck's doing between 50 and 60 houses a day. We are in a market where our average square footage, though, is 2,000
3,000.
square feet. Yeah, sometimes 2.2. Whatnot. We'll only do lawns up to 15,000 square feet, but we have standardized pricing up to 3,000 square feet. And we're running it from a Zuzu's. And so, yeah, we're in 6 cities. We have 1 call center that does sales and customer service, but we're servicing 6 markets. Most of the markets have these Zuzu trucks, but there are 2 markets that are still just utilizing some of the old F250s that we had just because we had the equipment and they're not the size yet to justify these Zuzus because they are
Right.
expensive.
For sure. And so you've been growing. So you've been growing through all these markets, all online, Google, Facebook, referrals, things like that. Is how you've grown into all these markets. What has been the hardest thing, and what do you notice about each location that's been a challenge?
I find that the smaller markets respond differently to the larger markets. So in Calgary, Edmonton, Red Deer, for example, the Facebook ads crush. In Medicine Hat, which is more of an older community, definitely an older demographic, they don't like the Facebook ads as much. They're like, no, like we want to see the flyers on the door. We want to see the postcards, all those things too. So I do think we need to revamp the marketing plan for next year. And the truth is that the creatives are different in the places. And I do find year number 2 goes a lot better than year number 1 because the first year they see your ad for the first time and like, oh, another fly-by-night lawn care company. Let's kind of see what happens. But the second year 2 comes around, it's like, oh, it's the same guys. I remember this guy. Okay, I'm going to give him a try this year. I found that this year all came down to organic. So just people looking up lawn care Calgary and Meta ads. We didn't run many Google ads this season, but we're pushing right now to sell 3.5 million in new net sales this year. We're a little bit off track of that, but we should be able to hit that goal by when we finish our season, roughly in the first week of October.
Yeah. And do you guys run any retargeting campaigns as well? Like people who hit your website before?
I don't for Meta ads. However, we use HubSpot for our marketing and reach out and customer service and pipelines. And we are doing outbound to past estimates, previous customers all of the time. So we start with that in February, start to practice again. Let's get back into the swing of things because we're a little bit rusty now, but we're calling previous estimates, previous customers. And then once every single time our lawn care program reduces in scope, we usually hit up these lists again. So when the incoming calls lessen or there's not as many leads, we're going to be doing outbound to make sure that all the sales guys are best utilizing their time and keep the numbers up the best we possibly can.
Yeah, for sure. Another question I have a lot of listeners probably run into is people complain about weather where they live. Or for us, you and I, it's like 6 months out of the year, 7 months out of the year we're servicing. The other 5 to 6 months we are not generating revenue. So how do you guys handle that over there?
Any of you people down south bitch about the weather, like, hey, come up here and give it a try. Like, it's tricky. So we have a short window. Like, we have 5.5, sometimes 6 months to do all of the production. So there's a few things you get to keep in mind. One is if it is a nice day, we are going to work hard. Like we are going to go to town and we make sure the expectations with the technicians, like, hey guys, there'll be days that we have rain days. We can't do anything. Those are the days off. Like here at the company, we don't work Sundays for technicians, although for sales, we will during the 3 months where it matters. So you have your Sunday off, but there'll be times Saturdays are going to happen. And there'll be times when they'll start at 7 o'clock in the morning and they'll go until 5 o'clock at night. We do use Bike Andy's P4P here. So the whole they're getting a commission based on the production that's happening. Only if the work gets done and service calls we don't pay for. So there's an incentive to do good work there. But the guys are working incredibly hard. We know it's a short season. It's a good opportunity to make some really good money, but we hire people that really want to work. This isn't a 9 to 5 balanced work-life schedule job. Here at the company, like we work hard, we play hard, we do profit sharing, we have bonuses, we have a lot of fun. We take care of each other as a team. Like one technician, a couple of weeks ago, his grandma unfortunately got she got a really bad diagnosis and he had to take off at about noon at the day. All the guys jump in, yep, give me 5 of his jobs, give me 5 of his jobs. They take care of each other on their messages. And like this same goes true of sales here, customer service downstairs, where it's easy to break it down into 3 departments, sales, customer service, operations. But the biggest thing that I've been focusing on is the culture and the driving that we are one team taking care of our customers at the end of the day. And sales, you have to make sure that you are setting this person up for success, because if you missize the property, if you overpromise, it is always going to come back to you. You never get away with anything because their operation's going to go there. The person's going to say something to the technician that wasn't there. They're going to complain to customer service. Customer service is annoyed because they have just as many calls as you in a day, but they're not having the fun of like, oh yeah, I'm really excited to get no, they're hearing all the problems coming their way. Lo and behold, it's going to come back to me, and then I'm going to bring it to you. And sometimes there'll be a commission clawback, or sometimes it's, hey, you have to call this customer and explain yourself, or you have to go requote them because you've underquoted this. So that's been a bit of a learning curve this season. It is, I do think it's definitely been getting better, but there's a lot of hard conversations that need to happen on an ongoing basis here. And I think that's what growth's all about. It's like one of our core values is accountability, and we definitely hold each other accountable here. We don't let the little things slide.
Yeah, that's cool. Hold up, quick pause. If you're on a pest control company or fertilization weed control company, you're not in our Facebook group, you're choosing the harder path. Every operator that's in there is skipping years of mistakes because people are actually sharing what's working right now. So stop trying to brute force your way through growth alone. Search Pest Control Millionaires on Facebook or click the link below. And now let's get back to it. So what do you do with your technicians with the 6 months off? Do you keep them on like a base pay? Do they not work? How does that look like for you guys?
Our season does line up very well with the academic school year for post-secondary. So we do utilize students. They're very valuable to us. Technicians is the hardest job to have customer or employee retention though, because the truth is it's a really good 7 months, but that's kind of it. We can add about a month or two on the end for training, start at the end there too. But some guys, they will go on EI for about 3 months and then return the following year. Some guys, this is a bit of a stepping stone for them, but the big thing for us actually is to give them a path to become an operating partner with us. I want a technician to come in, feel it, but then actually start to take ownership. Like, hey, I would love to run my own Yard Dawgs branch in X city, and we want to help people find a path to actually make that happen. Because out of the 6 markets that we have, it's an operating partner model. So it's essentially, I think Turf Badger's doing a similar thing. It's like you're a Chick-fil-A owner, you're receiving a salary, and you participate in profit sharing. You don't have the franchise fee, you don't have the buy-in, and you don't have equity. However, you do have a great way to grow to make a reasonable, healthy 6-figure income over the course of 3 to 5 years. So we're really excited about that model. We have 6 markets right now, and most people have started as a technician and they've worked their way up. So I'm really excited to see more people take advantage of that program. And but to answer your question though, technicians, it's if you're going to stay a technician, it's tricky to do here because our season is so short. We are not doing snow. We will never do snow. We are not doing Christmas lights, spring cleanups. I've done them all. Like I'm saying these and I'm telling you we're not going to do it because I've done them. I'm like, no, lawn care is our bread and butter. And we're either sharpening our axe to do better next time, or we're using that axe profusely. So sharpening the axe, using the axe, we're not changing the tool.
For sure. I couldn't agree more. And then as far as like most of your growth, did it come from like 2 of the bigger cities or kind of spread out through all of it?
A great question. So the main branch, which is Calgary, so we're at 10,600 customers right now. Average client price for us is just under $500. Calgary's growing slowest because that one's in profit mode. And once we get to a certain point, we're trying to get these branches to that $2 to $3 million a year sweet spot. And once they're there, we transition to profit mode. And the other ones are in growth mode. That means that the pricing will be more competitive. The discounts I have a little bit more leeway with, and I'm running the ads a lot harder. So Edmonton is our second biggest branch. That one's growing like crazy. In 2 years, it's become half the size of Calgary. Just about. Not quite, but just about. And the other markets like Red Deer, for example, they're growing quite fast as well. The ones out of the province is Saskatchewan, Regina, a little bit slower than what I'm seeing in Alberta, but that's just something to just keep in mind. It's not a big deal at the end of the day. Again, what's kind of cool is that you don't need the whole pie in a market. We need a slice of the pie. We're trying to grow these branches to, let's say, $2 million on average. There will never be a $10 million branch at Yard Dawgs. I just want to see 10 to 20 $2 million a year branches is what we're going for here too. Ideally 20 of them.
I like that a lot. And then with those, have you noticed like the markets grow faster or have better retention because the general manager or operating manager over there?
It's a little bit early to give a full diagnosis of that because this is only our second year having more than one branch essentially. So Edmonton's in its second year, Red Deer is in its second, Saskatoon's in its second, Medicine Hat and Regina are in their first right now, and then Calgary's in its 12th.
Is your second branch, and is that close to you?
3 hours north of the drive. So they're the Edmonton Oilers. I think it's the most northern, highest populated city in the world. Is what it is. And Edmonton, they have a good hockey team, better than the Flames, unfortunately. But that's the biggest highlight of Edmonton. but they are growing. They're growing very fast, and people are very happy. We're doing our NPS scores. We are checking in, but a big function of someone's success does start with the sales team. Have we set that person's expectations up properly? We deliver on the marketing. They see it. They come in. Have we set them up to be taken care of? Do they know what to expect on the first time? Like, how long is it going to take before they see a technician? When the technician gets there, what are they going to do? What kind of customer service are they going to receive in the meantime? What's going to? I don't want it to hear the world. You guys were so good at following up. Your communication was great, and then I gave you the credit card, and then it went to crickets. I don't want that. I want people to really have an ongoing, excellent customer experience, and that's hard to do. It's easy to be really good at one department out of the three, and no, we have to focus on. When I went to Hermosi's workshop a few months ago, my biggest takeaway is they talk about constraints. We are going to focus on this one constraint relentlessly until it is finished and then move on. So yeah, I'm not going to be playing these 5 different games. No, we're going to focus on one thing until it's finished and then move on. So for us, it's all about setting people up properly, taking care of them, and there's no point in selling really well if those people aren't retaining. So we're focusing on retention, we're focusing on sales, but we're focusing on making sure that people are staying with us for between 3 and 5 years at minimum, essentially, for their lawn care program. So if retention is shit, there's not even a point in selling.
Yeah, and I agree. And I think most people ask what the biggest driver is for retention is, and it's exactly what you're already talking about. It's from day one, how they're on board as a customer.
And I will say, one thing that's been very valuable for us is that, hey, when someone calls in to cancel, your customer service team needs to know how to deal with that. Don't let
Absolutely.
people just go.
For real.
Let's have a conversation. Why are they canceling? Like, yes, people move, people lose their jobs, real things happen. But sometimes, like, you know what? I just didn't like your guys' weed control, or I didn't like your guys' frequency. Start to have a conversation. And if we start to get people very trained up to manage the cancels, we find that the cancellation rate goes down a lot because we are actually, we fight. We care about your business. It's like when you go call your credit card company to cancel, they always transfer you to someone. And that person is 10 times better on the phone than the first person you're talking to. Yes, we do play that game a little bit here, but we're trying to get everybody, no matter who receives the call, let's make sure that we have a really good exit strategy. Let's leave on very good terms at the minimum. But hey, maybe we messed up, or maybe the expectation wasn't set, or maybe we had a miscommunication. Let's get back on the same page.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Yeah, one call resolution, right? So like that's my philosophy. Like the customer should be able to talk to one person, not get transferred to every single person because it gets lost in translation. It's another thing that we had to learn here at Pest Badger too. It's like it go to sales, and from sales go to CSR, and then vice versa, and like operations. Like it was a mess. Like if we can figure out one call resolution where they can talk to one person, that person's trained on retention, sales, like operations, scheduling. Like they know it all. It's so much a better spot for the customer experience as well. I agree.
Mhm. And to be totally vulnerable, we're not there yet. Like we are still having specialists at certain things. I'd love to get to the one call resolutions there too. And this is, you got to walk before you run. We're going to learn how to get a little bit better every day, that 1% better every single day. But right now, like hey, we do have a cancel specialist that the calls go through, and he does a really good job, and that's made a huge difference. But at the end of the day, why is that person canceling? Let's figure out the root cause. Was it operational mistake? Was it sales expectations? Was it a miscommunication on our end? Maybe they have an unreasonable request. That's a very real thing too. So just make sure that we are truly having those hard conversations a little bit every day to make sure that it's a smooth ship going forward.
Yeah. You also, while we're on the topic of retention, is there anything else that you guys have implemented besides those few things that have helped with retention?
Like, I think the biggest thing is just give a damn. Give a damn about that person's canceling. Hey, this person should, the average customer with us stays about 3 years. Why is this person leaving after 1 year? Or why is this person leaving after 2 services? There's got to be a reason. And let's figure that out so that we can grow from it. You have to be very curious. That's another core value of ours. Curious and ready for a challenge. Don't just say, oh, that's the way it is. No, let's figure out exactly why they're canceling. This kind of gets to the heart of the issue so that we can now improve our systems going forward. It's an ongoing dance. It's an ongoing battle to really start to increase this. So we're going to make sure that the expectations are set up properly on sales. Operation, we're going to get out there as quickly as we can. I think, in a day of Amazon, 2-day, 1-day, same day delivery, all these things too. People that are calling about their leads, they probably wanted it done yesterday. So let's get out there as quickly as we can, but let's set the expectation that, hey, it might not be tomorrow. It might take, several business days. And to be able to do all of this, you have to charge a fair or premium price. Like, do not the low ballers in the market, the people that are just nickeling and diming, they can't execute on these kind of things. So we never play that game. I'm proud that Yard Dogs is one of the highest priced
Absolutely.
services in the market because we will deliver. And when we mess up, which does happen, we are going to make it right. Or you're going to see a service incomparable to the guy that's doing out of this truck. We want to make sure that they are getting excellent service all the way through, but that does come with the price. And we're looking for the people that are willing to pay the price to receive excellent service. Because I don't know about you, but the person that cancels sometimes is the same person that was always asking for that extra $25 off, or the person that was reluctant to give the Visa or MasterCard over the phone. I see a lot of patterns, and that's definitely one of them.
For sure. And I would say the same thing. The best companies, the biggest companies have the nicest trucks, spend the most on marketing. They pay their guys the highest wages and have the best service. There's a reason, because they're charging the most. They understand the game. They don't want to be the cheapest person in town. And if you are playing that game like a Walmart, that's fine. You just have to know from day one that that's your model, and you're going to stick with that forever, right? But I always like to be the same. I don't love that model, but there is that model where I like to be on the premium side, be the highest charging person in the market, and be able to pay our guys the most money. Like you said, P for P, right? Because again, if the sales guys say, it's 3,000 square feet or 4,000 square feet, and then they show up there and it's 2,000 square feet or vice versa, like, okay, well, now I'm doing a 4,000 square foot yard for 2,000 square foot price. Now I'm spending more time here, get a lower P for P. So yeah, it all makes sense.
Yeah, it's everything's connected, operations, customer service, sales, your pricing, like everything matters in business. And like when you're starting out, sometimes you got to just, take a whim, got to look what your competitors are pricing, how they're pricing their things and kind of go something off of that. But eventually you start to get in your own groove and you start to really sell on value, not on pricing, because that pricing game it is tough. It is annoying. And there's always someone that's going to slash your prices, especially when you're investing in things to make the business better. These Isuzus are incredibly expensive. The decals on the trucks those trucks are clean. It's well over 100 grand. It's about 140 on average. But that's Canadian dollar. That's like $10 for you guys. But like at the end of the day, it's all full circle, and let's focus on every single department and do it to the best ability. Best of our
Yeah, I love
ability.
that. With those new trucks, obviously you carry a lot more product. Like the F-250s, what were we carrying then? Like 200 gallons?
Yeah, those are 200-gallon liquid tanks with just weed control in them, and then we were using a granular fertilizer
Yeah,
with
I remember we talked about this. And
spreader system.
Didn't you guys get a whole setup built in the shop too to fill the trucks?
Yeah, like when you go to you go to Costco, you get your $1.50 hot dog, and then you go fill up your Coke, right? It's not Coca-Cola come out of that. It's water plus syrup, or if you go to Sprite, it's that plus the Sprite syrup. We have that for lawn care. So when our trucks drive in, we go to the iPad and we essentially, it's a huge liquid vending machine for our products. This guy needs 200 liters of liquid fertilizer. We're going to mix in the weed control, or we're doing our chinch bug sprays right now. So this tank number 2 needs this formula. Tank number 3 needs that formula. We're able to do that all through an iPad. No human interaction with any concentrates of the chemical, which is really nice. I feel really good about that. And it's mixed to the T. There's no eyeballing. There's no guessing. And we get the formula right so that our materials are down and the lawn care effectiveness is high. The safety factor is there too, and the time. Like each truck is filled up within, about 3 minutes or so.
That's awesome. So I'm assuming that you probably don't have that in the smaller markets yet currently, right?
Correct. I only have it in the Calgary and Edmonton. And the way that we do our expansion essentially is that a first market with us is going to be a satellite branch. We are going to work it like back in the day. Liam and I were working out of mom and dad's garage. Similar idea. We're going to get a storage unit with access to the janitor's hose. And yes, we will be doing some eyeball mixing. We're going to be doing things manually because we can't afford to get the $4,000, $5,000, $7,000 shop. We can't afford this huge mixing system. So we're going to start things lean. And once we hit a threshold, let's call it $500,000, maybe 1,000 customers, we're going to now start to invest in things, because at the end of the day, a new market is it's a bit volatile. We don't know how it's going to respond to the market. We don't know how it's going to essentially perform. And we want to make sure that we are being smart with our dollars. We can't assume that we have this all figured out and we are untouchable. No, we have to do things, stay smart all the way through, know what our threshold is. And then when when that area is working well, now we're going to spend more on marketing. Now we're going to really invest in the operations. Until then, blood, sweat, and tears, baby.
Love it. Obviously, we run a similar model. That's why we talk a lot, which is really cool. You're in lawn care. We're in pest control. Same service, like different service, but same service industry. So it's been fun to watch for sure. What's the goal with Yard Dogs for? I know you said probably closer to 10 million next year, but like 5 years is 20 locations, right? Doing $2 million bucks.
Yeah, you know what? I've always had a hard time thinking about in 5-year increments because I find it's just so far away. But right now we're in year number 2 out of our 3-year goal. The 3-year goal is to 7 million. So next year is our 3rd year. I think we could probably get closer to about 8.5 or so. And then I think the following year we can hit 10. So that'd be 2028. You guys can hold me to it. We should be at $10 million in revenue by September 30th of 2028. From there, though, Jonas, I want to just really set up some great operating partners that are growing their branches to about that $2 to $3 billion sweet spot. A goal that we have here at corporate is I want to see 10 people own a home within the next 5 years. Right now, there are 4 of us out of the 10. I want to see 10 out of 10 or more own a home. And we have a Yard Dogs first-time home buyer incentive because at the end of the day, the goals on the board are great, but what's in it for them? What's in it for the guy selling day over day or doing customer service, week by week? The truth is, one goal that everyone shares here is home ownership. It's very expensive to own a home in Canada. And if you do own a home, you're going to be okay. It's a really good way to grow some equity in your own self, your own life, essentially. So I want to see 10 people at least own a home here within the next 5 years.
Yeah. Has Liam always been a partner of yours at Yard Dogs?
Yeah, I've known Liam since kindergarten, and we started Yard Dogs together 12 years ago. Still 50-50 to this day. It works
Awesome.
because the values are the same, but the skills are different. As people ask, like, what's the secret to the partnership? It's that we have the same values when it comes to family, God, faith, and the way we do business, same risk tolerance per se, but the skills are very different. He's a mechanical engineer. I have a business marketing degree, and we focus on what we're really good at. Himself, numbers, accounting, bit of operations. Myself, mostly sales, marketing, and then where we have weaknesses, we're going to hire and build our leadership team around that. So it's been great working with Liam, and we have no plan to change that anytime soon.
Yeah, he's a stud. I've talked to him several times. That's really cool. But you guys, again, for all the listeners, you didn't start this way. You didn't start just Yard Dogs only doing fertilizing. Walk us back through 1.0.
Yeah, like 2014, the first year, we started with just aerations. We I got invited to this company that gave you an aerator. You go door to door with it, make a 30% commission. It's called Canadian Property Stars. And I'm
Dude,
like,
it's so easy to sell for you listeners. Go sell aeration at the door.
exactly. Especially in April and May, you're there. They're like, oh, sure, actually. And like, I didn't even know what an aeration was. I just knew people would pay like $60 a house to do it. So that's what we started doing. And then eventually they started to ask, do you do this service? Like, do you do power raking? Like Liam and I would look at each other. Yeah, we do power raking. How much do you charge? $120. When can you do it? Tomorrow. Go home, YouTube. What is power raking? Because like we just got the job, and like show up the next day, go buy a machine on Craigslist or Kijiji or Marketplace and have it there up and running the next day. So the first 4 years we were a jack of all trades, master of none. We were just doing whatever we could to make money. We were students, this is our 4-month-a-year gig. But so we were mowing, window washing, bit of fertilizer, maybe landscaping. But then we decided, like, once we graduated university, and I'm married now, Liam's, I think, was engaged or was at least in a serious relationship. We were like, hey, are we going to go get a real job like our parents are praying that we do every night? Or are we going to go give this one full shot? We decided to give it 1 year full time. But to do that, we had to pick a niche. And we looked at the companies around us, what seemed to have like the least amount of competition, what was the most simple of a business, and what was the most profitable. And for us, we determined it was treatments. Focus on just 5 services: fertilizer, weed control, aerations, seeding, and soil enhancements. For the Yard Dogs, let's make 3 packages that incorporate those 5 services. We have the Pomeranian, Golden Retriever, the Saint Bernard, and let's learn how to be the best at these 5 things. People ask for mowing, we don't do that. Spring clearance, we don't do that. Snow removal, we don't do that. Oh, but there's money to be made there. Well, there's money. You can make money at anything, but you cannot make money at everything. Pick a couple of things, get really good at it, learn how to sell, learn how to market, learn how to do great work, and learn how to help a lot of people make a lot of money and help customers get a great looking lawn where they feel like the value is there. They tell their friends and family about it, and all of a sudden you have this machine that you cannot stop. Momentum, like they say, is really hard to build, but you cannot stop it once it is going. So we remind ourselves every single day, let's just keep the operation, customer service, and sales. We are one team. We are going to work together to deliver for the customers.
I say this a million times over and over and over again. People underestimate the power of momentum
Mm.
all the time.
And synergy, man. Like departmentalize, I think is a very valuable thing. Like the first time I ever hired someone to do sales, I'm like, no one can sell like me. No one can do it. I'm the only guy in the world that can sell. Finally, I see someone else sell a St. Bernard package. I'm like, oh wait, I don't have to do this all the time. And now like I'm probably the worst guy in the room when it comes to sales. And I'm very proud of that. I love that people can do things better than I. Liam and I, like it's worked out. It's been great, but we do have the belief that anything that we do, somebody can do it better.
Absolutely. Actually, we just have a YouTube video coming out on Thursday that talks just about this in general. Like at one point in the business, we're always the best person, but it comes to a point like we should be training people to become better than us. Like the mentee should always pass the mentor.
Yes, and you should be proud of that. You should want that.
Absolutely. Yeah. You brought up YouTube. We can jam on YouTube a little bit. Have you been pushing a lot of YouTube content this year? Or you just been too busy in the day-to-day grind?
I've been too busy to be honest with you. I have YouTube's tricky. YouTube's a little tricky to me. I do believe in the value, and I do think now that we have an office manager starting, and she is phenomenal on both sales and customer service. And my next 6 weeks is to pour everything I have into her. Same with Liam there too, because I'm still managing sales very heavily. And I do think that if there's one, we're talking about delegation right now, and we're talking about growing other people. If there's one thing though that I think the founder has that nobody else will have, it's selling the company. It's selling the vision and the dream. And I do think that I would be best suited finding the next operating partner for Yard Dawgs in the next city. Because people say, where's the next city going to be? The truth is, depends on the person. It's not the market, it's the person. You put a good person in a bad market, it's going to work out. Put a bad person in a great market, it's going to fail. So I want to spend way more time recruiting and seeking out and hunting for great people that can run a Yard Dawgs branch. And I do think YouTube is a phenomenal vehicle to do that. So come this fall, maybe late this summer, I do want to really crank the engine again on YouTube. But to this point, it hasn't been the constraint. Back to the Hormozy thing. The constraint right now is getting myself out of the call center, not because I think that, because I think someone can do better than I can. And I'm disservicing my team if I'm going to be the bottleneck. Don't let myself be the constraint, and let's go find those next operating partners. Because if we're going to grow to the $30 million mark, or even grow up to the $100 million mark, which I think Yard Dawgs actually has the potential to do, it's going to need some great people running the branch as we grow the corporate call center where we are right now.
Love it. And then licensing. What's licensing like in Canada?
It's all provincially based. So right now we're only in the 2 prairie provinces, Alberta and Saskatchewan. And then beside us, next year we're going to open up in Winnipeg, which is part of Manitoba. Those are the 3 prairie provinces. So we have pretty good access to different types of weed control. For example, you can't use pre-emergent in Canada, like crackrass and nutsedge. It's just the way it is. Like, and so you sell more aeration seeding because of that. But once we start to get into British Columbia, so it'd be like the Vancouver, Kelowna area, or if we go into the Ontario area, so like the Toronto, Ottawa, GTA, herbicide laws get a lot more strict. So we're having to really focus more on the lawn care side of things, less on the weed control. And the truth is, at that point, we start to look at different time zones as well. Ontario's 2 hours ahead of us. So we're going to have to really, if we do that, we really have to start to think about hours of operation. We have to have staggered shifts. We have to think about the call center at the end of the day. And I want to be able to I want to be in growing markets. I want places where markets are growing and people do have a zest for lawn care. They see the value in it. Because you go to some places, people let their lawns go to shit. And I don't want to be in a place like that. I want people that see, no, my home's first impression is the lawn. I care about my home. I care about how it looks. I want to be in those kind of markets. So for that, outside of the 3 prairie provinces, the good old USA, baby, that definitely could be starting to go south from where we are too. Northern USA has some phenomenal markets as well. Boise, Idaho, Coeur d'Alene, Spokane, Minneapolis. Denver's like a Calgary 2.0. There's a lot of opportunities. But at the end of the day, the person, not the place. We want to find the right people that are willing to say, yes, I believe in the Yard Dawgs vision. I believe in myself as an operator. Sales, customer service isn't really my thing, but that's what you guys focus on. You guys are really good at that too. You guys sell for me, take care of the calls. I'll make sure the lawns here look phenomenal, and I have great guys doing it with me. Those are the kind of people that we're looking for.
Cool. Well, that's probably a great spot to wrap this thing up. You're a stud. We've probably been on the phone over an hour, 20 minutes-ish.
Feels like 5 minutes.
Chat. I know. Flying by. And I know you're busy. You're still at work. So, again, I'm glad we got to catch up. You're a stud. Keep doing what you're doing. Love watching it from afar. I'm sure we'll chat in the next week or so, but just keep doing what you're doing, man. It's fun.
Thanks for having us. It's always a pleasure. It's a lot of fun to be on here. So thank you for that.
Cool. I'll chat with you soon.
Take care.
Peace.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to another episode of Pest Control Millionaire. We don't charge any money for the show, but the podcast isn't free. Please like and subscribe and give us a 5-star review in your favorite podcast app. This makes a huge difference for us. If you have any specific questions about your business or your personal life that you'd like answered by me or any of my podcast guests, please send an email to info@pestcontrolmillionaire.com. And if you want to get in touch with me about our marketing class, we do a live version every Thursday night. Check out our website at pestcontrolmillionaires.com. Thank you guys for listening. I'll see you guys in the next one.